a female advocate to make a difference in as many children's lives as I could.
Soul Sisters, a discourse on the woman on Smooth 98.1.
All right, let's get started. Okay, so we are live.
Okay.
Oh, you're a bit okay. You're back. You are present for some time. And we are ready to go. Good morning, and you're welcome to Soul Sisters here on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. My name is Oluwaseun, and I got all the right energy to get this conversation going. If you're following us across all social media platforms, especially if you view our stories on Instagram, you should have gotten the notification that we are talking about something very important this morning on Soul Sisters. If you're a part of a WhatsApp family, it means you can just scroll right to our WhatsApp status and see the picture there, the graphics design. But if you are not any part of all of this, I'll tell you that we are talking about divorce right here on Soul Sisters. Not just divorce, but the effect of divorce, the ones that are not commonly and openly spoken about, especially on the ladies, the females, and the women generally. And I have someone who is just perfect to talk about this, someone who has wealth of knowledge and experience, and someone who's seasoned in the art of healing from different kinds of trauma and pain. She is a cognitive behavioral therapist who specializes in helping people heal and recover from emotional dysfunctions and trauma. I just decided to make it a short and abridged version of her profile, else if we decide to read it out today, we will not leave this place or even get the conversation started. So please join me and welcome my guest. Some people know her as Dear Coach Lara. Some know her as Coach Lara, but she is Lara Kudayisi. Good morning.
Good morning, Sean. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for making it here after, the 7 mountains that refused to I'm just excited about this. So thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me too.
Okay, so, I have been thinking about it since this one. I have been thinking about how to actually get this conversation started. If we should just go into the topic of divorce or we should lay the background. But I think I'd like to first start with you.
Okay.
You, like I mentioned earlier while I was reading a bit about you, that you are someone who specializes in helping people heal from emotional dysfunctions and trauma, not just help them recover. So I'm particular about that word heal. And you have what we call the healing school that is run, I think, quarterly and is dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to heal from different kinds of trauma, deep-seated trauma that some are not even aware is there. So this is the question. How did you get into this path? Or should I say, how did you get this calling?
Good question. Oh, okay. So it was because I was hurt myself. I was in pain myself. So it was in the bid to find healing, for my own life, my own journey, in my story in a nutshell that I share everywhere is that I healed from having a child at 19, 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions, and a divorce. So naturally, you would see that kind of person is a walking pain. You're not happy, you're unhappy, you're on the edge, but, when I was seeking for peace, seeking for healing, seeking for rest, that's when I stumbled on this, understanding that, I can actually, after finding my own healing, I can actually help a lot of people because I know a lot of people, a lot of people that is in pain. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with divorce alone. A lot of us have childhood trauma, childhood dysfunction, emotional pain, depression that arises from a lot of things aside from divorce. But divorce is a trauma, that a lot of us have failed to acknowledge. Divorce can never leave you the same. You get what I mean? People think, oh, I'm just going to walk out of my marriage and just go marry another person or just do whatever I want to do. It's not that easy. If you're not healed, if you don't get healing from divorce, you're going to be scarred forever. So it was whilst I was trying to seek purpose, seek healing, find love, find joy, that I stumbled on this path. And that's what I've been on now for the past 10.5 years now.
Those things you mentioned, those words you used are some of the things I would like us to break down in beats in the course of this conversation. But first, I will take this break. And when we come back, let's talk about why it looks like these days it's becoming easier to just walk out of a marriage.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the data and it was not pretty at all. Now, again, we are not very good with data in this part of the world. But even at that, the one I was able to gather, it says that we have about 30%, in fact, no, out of 1,000 marriages, you tend to see 30 people who are already divorced. And that's not even it. When I went further into the breakdown, looks like divorce is more likely to happen in young people. And there are a lot of things surrounding that. So I want us to break it down, and then the effect, because it looks like, oh, it's just freedom temporarily, but what is behind it? You said divorce never leaves you the same. So what are the things it does to you? Those are some of the things I would like us to get into after this break. And if you're joining us for the first time, yes, you're welcome. This is Soul Sisters. We're talking about the divorce right now. Soul Sisters is a show that is for the women, as it implies, soul sisters. So we talk about issues that affect their soul and look for a way to actually help them get out of the dark pits that sometimes people do not even know they are in. And I have my guest this morning, Lara Kudayisi. You can join us on YouTube, by the way. It is youtube.com/smooth91 FM Lagos. We'll be right back. I was actually having a chat with someone earlier before we came on, and I said, is it that we have more divorce cases? Is it that more people are embracing the idea of divorce, or it's because we now have more social media platforms or more news channel, and you can easily hear of a divorce? And I was, so yesterday while I was checking out some things online, I stumbled on an interview from, I think, 3 years back, that was it Chude that did it with some Generation Z. And I was shocked and appalled at the thought process. These kids, I'll call them kids, were so confident, so happy, so boastful about the fact that they are not going to get married because marriages around are failing. So there is no point. However, they would gladly be single parents. They would have a child, they'll fall in love. And I'm thinking, do you kids even know what is in being a single parent?
It's crazy.
And so one of the reasons I decided to talk about this also is due to how you see maybe celebrity marriage crashes on blogs or on Instagram or Twitter, and you go to the comment section and people start to tell you, I'm losing faith in marriage. So it's like the more we tend to see these divorce cases, especially in the celebrities that you kind of like and you have unintentionally idolized, it dwindles and it just ebbs away your faith and belief in marriage. And I think it's very sad.
It is. It's very sad, but it's a human thing. Like we are going to expect or see more of that. So we need to guard our own minds. You understand? Because that is the generation we are in right now. Marriage is endangered in this generation.
That's the word. Endangered.
Sunday the 15th of January on DSTV 198, GoTV 29, and Africa Magic. Get and stay connected to DSTV and GoTV.
And the things we keep watching, the media is not really helping matter.
Sponsors Bamboo, Flutterway, and Lotto Star.
When only prime instance, a king's bride is spotted with someone who isn't the king.
In the thick of the night, When drums and singing pierce the air, a man has chosen his desires over his duty.
In the dungeon of fright, where unspoken things happen, the young boy decides to gamble with his dreams.
Stories tangled with hard choices. Watch Anikulapo, The King's Horseman, and Far From Home on Netflix. Nollywood is home. Look, there's no easier way to say this. Slow internet is bad for business. So, if you want what's best, get the Airtel Smart Box Outstore unit for SMEs.
Indeed. Do business at
Okay,
internet
we've
speed of
got
up to 200
22 seconds
megabytes per
to come
second
back.
with the Airtel
Sorry, I'm trying to repost your this thing.
access to other
Okay, on
amazing
Instagram?
offers. Dial 101
Yes.
free.
Okay,
Or send an
are you
email
settled
to
now?
Airtel Business
Yes, I am.
to get
We
started.
are back.
Airtel, the smartphone network. This is Smooth 90.
And you're very welcome. You can actually take a seat. If you're driving, please be safe and increase the volume of your radio sets because you might want to pick out everything we're saying. So do not lose any of the points. It's even okay for you to ask a question in the course of the conversation. I told you earlier that this is Soul Sisters. It is a show meant for the sisters, the ladies, the women all around the world. So that means priority is given to them. However, not the men are also allowed to call in and to express their thought. Remember, we are talking about divorce and women are not the only one in relationships. It takes two to tango. So please come through with your thought, questions, observation, and comment. Even if you disagree, it's fine. You can air your opinion. Then for every female comment I get, you might just win yourself a makeup product. That's if you call. I want to hear your voice. I don't want to read your text, female. So if you decide to pick up your phone and call 01-448-9981, I might just be giving you a makeup product because it's the season of gift and freebies. Now let's come back to it. Again, we're talking about the untold effect of divorce. And my guest is Lara Kudayisi. Before going on the break, we touched or graced a little bit of her story and why she is in this field and why she has this calling to help people heal from trauma and pain, be it in the childhood, be it in marriage and all of that. She's also an author. Did I mention that? Yeah, she has about 2 books, I believe. One is How the Matchmaker's Marriage Failed. Did I get that?
Yes, you did.
And the other is What's Wrong with My
Taste in Men. Yeah.
Yes.
And How the Matchmaker's Marriage Failed is my life story. Yeah, it's my memoir.
Okay, so you heard that. And if you like gist, maybe you should go to Amazon to look for the book. You want to know how the matchmaker's marriage failed. That is heavy. Imagine matchmaking and whoa. Okay, can you give us a little bit?
Okay, now you're intrigued. Yeah, so I was, of course, I was, I'm a therapist, a marriage coach, a matchmaker, so at the time, so I was really heavy on matchmaking. In fact, I used to be known as the matchmaking mistress at the time. So I was matchmaking a lot of people. Then my own marriage crashed, so it caused a lot of, ripples like, how can you matchmake me? And your marriage, you are matchmaking is not working. So I decided to write about it so that people can understand, why it crashed and how to prevent it, if you're married, how to prevent your marriage from crashing, and how to understand that because you talk about love, relationship, marriage, doesn't mean you're immune from it if you're not healed. You understand? Which is why I actually wrote the book, so that people would understand, but it's also for single people so that you will know what to avoid, the kind of partners to choose and all of that. And if you're expecting that it's going to be a book of somebody who is bitter, bashing their ex, nothing like that. Never. Nothing like that. It's just a book where you can learn what to do and what not to do as regards marriage.
Did you prepare for any backlash when you decided to put those things together?
Oh, yes. Of course. I wrote it in 2018. This December makes it 4 years. So, of course, there were plenty backlashes. People in my DM, people calling me, family members that I've not spoken to in years. What is that? What's doing you? It was terrible. My blood pressure rose for that 1 week, that I released the book, because the calls wouldn't stop coming. Some people were even genuinely crying, like people that used to Because I used to mentor a lot of people then. Don't do this. I believed in marriage because of you. All those things were really heartbreaking. But on the long run, you realize that you have your own life to live, irrespective of, whatever anybody is saying and stuff like that. So, but after 1 week, everybody went back to normal. People got used to it. And that's how life is. So that's why I always talk about this. A lot of people cannot make a decision because what would people say? Hey, Jesus, so they will abuse me. They will, maximum is 1 week. Maximum. Pata pata, 2 weeks. You understand? They will move on. Bobrisky will do something that they will move on to. They will forget about you. So if you're trying to please people or trying to hold back in living your life because of what people would say, that's one of the recipes for unhappiness, and this also make people fall into depression. You realize that they are so unhappy. They're not, they'll just be telling you, this is not my life. This is not what I dreamt of. This is not what I planned. This is not where I plan to be. But you cannot make any change because you're thinking, what would my pastor say? What would my parents say? What would my family members say? What would my online community say? What would social media say? You're gonna die a very unhappy person, So that's it about that.
I think now that you have given a very good appetizer, maybe I'll just leap into that question, although I'll be leaping in bits. So the first part is, I mentioned earlier that it looks like we're having rising cases of divorce. And this stage, you will agree with me that more people are also becoming, in quote, liberal-minded in their thinking. Now, do you think that this reason, people becoming more open in their thinking, more liberal-minded, more concerned about their own happiness and maybe self-love, do you think, even though I would also want you to explain how, well, okay, maybe I'll go back to that, but do you think these are the possible things contributing to our increase in divorce cases, bearing in mind that according to the data we have, we tend to have more young people having divorce compared to the older ones?
Yeah, so the thing is, I think what is causing a lot of divorce now is new knowledge. We all have knowledge now. There's this liberal, being a liberal person, you don't have to kill yourself, all of those things. And knowledge is a two-edged sword. It's like a knife. You can use it to cut an apple to eat, and you can also use it to stab somebody to death. So it depends on the side that you're using. So, which means that whatever open-mindedness you're having, it's very good to be open-minded. It's good to have new knowledge. It's good to keep knowing, but there has to be a balance, or else that same knowledge will ruin you, and that's what is happening right now. We need to know, like, when people, especially women, 80% of my clients are women. So when they come to me, 80% of their problems too are from men. So they come, they are telling me, yeah, he's a narcissist, I'm an empath. And what does that mean? I realized that, because we just found out about this buzzword, online, and we just make it. And I'm telling you, I once did a video. Yeah, there are narcissists, like extreme cases of narcissists, but a lot of us have some narcissistic tendencies in us, all of us. So, but because you've learned something new, you don't really understand the depth of that. You're throwing it around, you're using it, because that's your new knowledge. You don't know how to balance that knowledge. And the thing about, and it's so easy now to blame the other person. He's not doing this, she's not doing this, he's not doing blah, 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 blah. I had a premarital session with a couple yesterday. They're going to get married soon. And when we were talking, the lady was talking about how, she was thinking of calling off the engagement and all of that until she came to therapy and realized that the reason why she was feeling uncomfortable with her partner or unhappy has nothing to do with him. She didn't know that. It had nothing. It was her own trauma from childhood, her unhappy parents, marriage. You understand, that was translated into a lot of stress for her. And then she's trying to pass it to the guy. And then maybe the guy is not available all the time. She's like, hey, it doesn't always. So usually, a lot of times, the issues we're having most times has nothing to do with our partners, but we don't know. But we just need somebody to blame. That's why therapy is very, very important. Before you say, I want to divorce, before you say, I want to walk away, please go to, I did not say counseling, no, I did not say church counseling. I did not say people that will come and advise you. No, I'm talking about therapy. Therapy will take you back to your childhood. Why are you like this? Why do you think this way? Why do you want these things? Why did you even choose to marry this person? What attracted this kind of person to you? Because Sharon, what all of us don't know is that, if you check online, there's a statistic that says second marriages fail faster than first marriages.
Yes.
So what that means is that even if you divorce now and say you want to go and remarry, there's a higher tendency that you will divorce again. Because there's a reason why your marriage ended in divorce in the first place that you have not dealt with. You don't even know what it is. You just say, he doesn't listen to me. He cheats too much. He do whatever. I want my freedom. But that may not really be the root of the issue. So I wish now, with this knowledge that we are having, with this liberal mindedness that we have, with this open mindedness, I wish we can just learn how to balance it. I wish we can stop throwing buzzwords and just like, oh my God, stop being our own therapist, because that's what's happening right now. I've read some things on Google, I've read, I'm an empath, so that's why I feel this way. He's a narcissist. No, narcissist can stop as in, I'll just be looking like this, madam. You have already diagnosed yourself. Why are you coming here? You get what I mean? So I wish we can learn how to balance that knowledge that we're having these days. That's.
Thank you so much. And you just gave me more questions to even ask. First off, is divorce really freedom? Is it? And then when we look at the young people, what concept of marriage do they need to get before going into those marriages? Because we can't again take out the fact that our average age and all over the world, we now have more young people compared to the older ones. So what concept do they need to get so that we are able to reduce the divorce rate? Because you're wondering, why are you concerned about another person's life? This thing comes back to you.
Yes, on the long run.
A broken woman is probably going to be your family member, one person you're going to end up with.
Or your boss, or your colleague.
Exactly. And they start to act in a way that you're wondering, why so angry? Why so frustrated?
Yeah.
Sometimes you see how people make jokes on Twitter and they say, why are you so angry as a feminist? Some of them are dealing with issues.
Yeah.
So we actually,
absolutely.
Part of the questions, what concept of marriage do the young people need to get for us to reduce the divorce rate? And secondly, now we cannot also shake the fact that there are older people who, after 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, 35 years, I know how we were shocked when the Bill Gates or the Gates family came out and said they were divorced, Jeff Bezos, and you're wondering what's going on. So what will make a couple who have been together for 10 years, 15, 14, 20, 30 years, decide we are now going our separate ways? So those are some of the questions I would like us to get back to when we take this break. If you're joining us for the first time, hey, I hope you are having a good time. And you can share your thoughts on WhatsApp, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. On Twitter, the hashtag is SoulSisters981. The handle to tag is at Smooth981FM. But on WhatsApp, the WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. And later on, when I come back, the line to call is 01-448-9981.
Look, there's no easier way to say this. Slow internet is bad for business. So
this thing is just mind-boggling. Someone has a question, two questions actually.
Okay.
Is it not possible to amend crashed marriage? Then what are the red flags for anyone not to enter into marriage with the man or woman instead of getting married and divorced afterwards? I'm guessing we'll answer this in the course of answering some of those questions.
Okay.
At 2:00, a man was found dead in a hotel room. But guess what time it is? It's time for justice, because for every crime that happens in Lagos,
Justice awaits.
No cities above the law in the new action drama series Crime and Justice. Now streaming only on Showmax. Subscribe for 1,200 Naira monthly. Sign up at showmax.com. Live Theatre Lagos presents The True Christmas Story. Come experience the most magical play ever told on December 23, 24, 25, and 26 at the Radisson Blue Anchorage Hotel, VI Lagos. Visit www.livetheatrelagos.info for your free tickets. This stage play is supported by 98.1 Smooth FM, Walter Gibbs, First Bank, OIRS, NTN, and Bolt.
On Zero. Do anything that you want on Zero. You can even get a car on Zero. Go on
So
vacation.
going by your practice, do you think more women tend to seek out
4 to 6 equal installments.
therapy compared to men?
Go anywhere.
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. Women are more predisposed to, it's not just even therapy, help generally, church, you understand, whatever, counseling, therapy than men. A lot of women do that now.
So when the woman goes out, maybe they're having a troubled marriage, the woman goes out to seek therapy or counsel, as the case may be,
Yeah.
and she comes back with it. How is she supposed to be able to leave it out if they're both not hearing the same thing?
That's where the problem is. So because the man, or a lot of times the men refuse to go to therapy. So the woman will just learn how to adjust to the man's behavior. So it doesn't heal the marriage. It just helps her adjust and understand it. It doesn't mean that she'll be happy. It doesn't mean, but she can just, if she decides to stay in the marriage, she just learns to stop being frustrated and accept it. That's all.
In short,
So it's really, yeah.
coming back.
98.
Yes, this is your Love Music, Love Life station, Smooth 98.1. The show right now is Soul Sisters. We are talking about divorce and the untold effect on women. We've not even gotten into that part because we need to lay some background and, of course, establish some facts, which we have. And part of it is that it looks like we are having more divorce rates these days. And you can partly attribute it to some of the new knowledge and mentalities that are going around. As much as knowledge can be good, it also can have the side effect if it is not properly managed. I believe those are my paraphrased words from the words of my guest this morning. That is Lara Kudayisi. You can join us on YouTube, by the way. It is youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos. And you can call 01-448-9981. You can also send your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. So before that break, I said I was going to ask this one about the concept of marriage that the young people need to get. In other words, I'm just saying, what are some of the things you need to know about marriage before going into it, especially as a young person? Because I know it was lately, I think 2 years, 3 years that but at least that I came to know of what was called open marriage. And for the life of me, it makes no sense. What is open marriage?
Oh my goodness. Like I was telling somebody recently that, yeah, there's some new things to learn and all of that, but I would rather choose the old school way because so many things I'm hearing these days is I don't even have the word. Like open marriage is where you open up your marriage for people in the marriage to start dating other people.
Why get married then?
Exactly. Why are we together? Why don't you leave each other and go and do what you want to do? But they'll tell you because of plenty of reasons, the children, the society, my parents will be unhappy, but this is how I'm coping, this is how I'm getting peace. Like it's somehow, but hey, that's what people are doing now. And those are one of the things that's ruining, the chances of a good marriage. When you already know that there's something called open marriage, would you want to work on things with your spouse? No. You will just be like, I beg, somebody else is doing it for me, So, and sometimes also the open marriage is the one that is discussed. Sometimes people have already opened the marriage without the consent of their spouse, Like I know men that have 5 side chicks, 4 side chicks. So they have to, this one does this for me, this one does this for me, this one. So that one is, the man has already opened the marriage. It's the woman that is not, aware of it. You get. So, but young people need to know one thing. people, they think that, when I'm married, I'll be this kind of wife, I'll be this kind of husband. It's not true. Nothing is going to change at the altar. It is who you are now that you are going to take to your marriage. Who you are now, nothing. You are not going to, no spirit will come upon you to change you. That now you now become calmer, somebody asked me that, Lara, do you think people change? I don't believe people change. People can improve, people can adjust, but there's a core, you understand, of people. There's a core of someone that cannot change except they go through subconscious change, which is therapy. Because what makes us is not our conscious decisions. It's not the fact that Sheon says, oh no, I'm going to wear a red top today. If I ask you as a therapist, I will start asking you a question. Why did you decide on a red top? Why did you decide to wear this shoe? You will be surprised that there are a lot of unconscious decisions that you're not aware of. Maybe you liked red growing up. Maybe your mom used to wear red. Maybe red meant success to you. You won't know these things though. You just think, I just like red. But you don't know why you like red. So a young person needs to know that, and then your partner also has a lot to do with you. And this is what I mean. You attract the people you date or marry. There's something about you that attracts those kind of people. People don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. There is something about you that attracts the kind of people that you're meeting. And then there is something about you that makes you choose that person or those kind of people that you have been dating. So if you want to change the kind of people you're attracting, you need to change something about you. Let me give you an instance now. I had a child at 19. So that automatically finished my self-esteem because I was in the Polytechnic at the time. I felt, and then my dad at the time, I was the first child. I was so brilliant. I left secondary school at 15, So he was so disappointed. He was so hurt. And he would look at me then and tell me, look at it. Your life is finished. You're finished. You are after one. Who will marry you? This is the end. And he didn't know at the time, I'm sure. But those kind of words were stripping my self-esteem away gradually. So I started feeling lesser than the average girl out there. And then I made a subconscious decision in my mind that I'm going to prove my dad wrong. It's in my book. If you read my book, there's page 8 says, I married to prove daddy wrong. So I told myself that I'm going to prove my dad wrong. I'm going to make sure he eats his words. I'm going to let him know that, I can still be somebody, which is what all of us do. But that was the biggest mistake of my life, because that was when I activated Operation Get Married to prove daddy wrong. Remember, I had lost my self-esteem because I had a child. So I always felt I'm not pretty enough. My breasts are not, perky enough. I don't look like the average. You understand? So what that meant was that I started settling. So I felt that any man that came to me was doing me a favor by dating or saying they want to marry an after one. So I would accept whatever they gave to me. And I mean whatever treatment, whatever, this is how I want it, even though it's against my value system, but I'll be like, remember, get married was the goal or is the goal, So look at that. A lot of people are like that today. They already have low self-esteem. And it's not about how you can talk, how you dress. People think that, no, look, no, it's not true. You have no idea. So I did that. So by the time I met my ex-husband, I knew all the things that were wrong. I saw everything. But because I wanted to get married, I wanted to fulfill that goal. And also there was something I had then that I also wrote about in my book. It's called the savior mentality. I thought I could save him. I could help him. Me, Lara, I know this. I have plenty of knowledge. I did. You can't save nobody, bruh. You can't save nobody. So the marriage was dead on arrival, naturally, because of all of these things, So if I would now, tell my side of the story, if I was talking, I would start pointing out his own mistakes. He did this, he did that. Not that he did not do those things, though, but it started from me. It started with me. The fact that I had low self-esteem, the fact that I wanted to marry for the wrong reasons, the fact that I wanted to save a man, the fact that I wanted to, show the people on in the walls that yes, so the cornerstone, the stone, the rejected stone have become the chief cornerstone. These are all the reasons why people make terrible mistakes. So it's even before the marriage starts. That's even where it starts from. So if you want to have a great marriage, first of all, go and deal with your own issues. Go and heal from your childhood trauma. Because another thing, Seun, is that our parents' marriage also affects how we see marriage.
Yes.
Our parents' marriage. I at the healing school, there was a lady who came and she was just crying. And she was like, when we started the healing school, she was crying. And then I asked her what's going on. She said her dad used to beat her. Her brother used to beat her. They were all girls. They only had a boy and their dad. The brother even used to beat their mom, beat all the girls. So they have a strange relationship with the men in their family. So this made this girl hate men. She hates men. So, and subconsciously, what people don't know is that you have been programmed from by that, because that's what you see. That's what you grew up seeing. So it's a subconscious wiring that has happened to you. So what happens is that she starts choosing men that are like her dad, even though she detests her dad. You start attracting men like you, because that's what you know. That's what your subconscious knows. So even if you see another one that is good, you won't be attracted to him. You may even say he's boring. I just don't feel it. It's your trauma. So she said she chooses men, like her dad. So of course there was domestic violence. At the point she even became the aggressive one. She even said it openly that, at the point I started dating women, and all of that, blah, 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 before coming to the therapy. She even said she had a page called Men Has Come or something online. She had 10,000 followers, women. Yes, 10, because negativity sells fast. She was even crying that, what do I say now? How do I go back to tell these women that it's not the men, it's our own problem, our own dysfunction? That was the reason why she was crying. You get? So, because negativity sells fast. Don't you see Twitter? It is kill them, bash them. It sells a lot. Things like that. So until she realized that, until she forgives her dad, until she changed the, wiring that she grew up with, she can never attract any good man. So that's where it starts from. So stop blaming, the people. Yes, they also have their own faults. Broken people attract broken people. That's just it. Long story short. If you're broken, you are only going to be attracting broken people. And what would that tell? What will happen? Combustion. There's going to be a breakdown somewhere. There's going to be something. So it's not about being woke, because that's it now. If it's not working, I'm out. It will not even work, because you yourself, you are not working subconsciously.
Wow. I think we can already hear many reasons why marriages fail, because in the first instance, there was no marriage.
Yeah.
If you're getting married because of another person to pass a message across, to show someone or people, there is no marriage in the first instance. So it's already dead on arrival. Wow.
Yeah.
I do have messages on WhatsApp. I hope we have the time to take them. But first, we need to go on this break. And when we come back, we'll just say maybe one or two effects of divorce. Again, goes back to the question, is divorce really freedom? Because the person was not changed. So you're going to carry that, your mentality, and try to enter another marriage or try and date another person. So what are the effects of divorce? You're listening to Soul Sisters here on Smooth 98.1.
Love music, love life, smooth.
We have issues in this life.
Oh, there's usually not enough time to discuss things like this. It's deeper than what 30 minutes can do. I'm telling you. Deeper issues.
So she was crying because she didn't know what she was going to tell them.
Yes, now. Because she was a champion of Men Has Come, When Has Come. That's what a lot of these Instagram, influencers, Twitter influencers that call themselves feminists. They've perversed the word's feminism. You understand? And you see, especially Nigerian feminists, a lot of them have, if you check them, they have issues with their dad or the male figures in their lives. You understand? That they need to heal from. So, but out of that pain, because you become bitter when you're in pain. So they spread all of that around, and then people to latch onto it because it's sweet to bash them. So there are lots of issues in this stuff.
Safe and to trust the system.
Any problem?
A child has been kidnapped somewhere in Lagos.
And it's very easy, like you mentioned.
All of that around.
It's very easy
But guess what time it is?
with
It's time for justice. Because
to, or rather, it's easy to blame others.
Justice
Yes, very sweet. It's sweet.
Man,
Subscribe for 1,000.
we have issues.
Sign up at showmax.com.
Yeah.
I will go straight to
And the worst part is, what again, we can't but attribute this to what we have, what social media is doing. Sometimes there was, which day did I come across the video by one of this lady, I don't remember her name now, but she's very known for posting stupid videos. Or so this video was about how you can become the main chick from being a side chick, or why the
It's
married
blessed to
man.
see you.
Thank you.
She's the one.
Hurry along. How do you get makeup done, set ring light,
and stay in front of it.
stay in front of the camera, and speak for minutes about how you can become the main chick or the wife from being a side chick?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, maybe it's the pollution or the Lagos sun is affecting me. Honestly, I was shocked. So you think you will not get married and there will not be side chick later that wants to become main chick? Or people don't understand that what goes around comes around.
Yes, they don't know. No.
Okay. Let's go back. I can't take all those messages.
Yeah.
Shit. You're welcome to the smoothest dial in Lagos Radio, Smooth 98.1. We're having a very, I don't know if I should, it's a good conversation because of course it's exposing many things and showing you, probably you're there, you are taking in the information and you're mirroring yourself. It's like a mirror being held up to your face. You're seeing yourself in this state. It's fine. There is no judgment here. What it's just telling you is to seek out help. You cannot help yourself because if you could help yourself, you would not be in the kind of situation you are right now. So you need external help. And that's why we're talking about this. And we have 5 more minutes to the end of the show.
Wow. Oh, so sad.
I have tons of messages here. I don't even know where to start from. We'll come back to it. But first, let's mention 1 or 2 effects of divorce. Because again, so that someone is not thinking divorce is the easy way out. So I can't even take calls. Okay, maybe we'll try to rush it. So what are some of the effects? So now after you've gotten into the marriage, which wasn't really a marriage at all, but when you decide to go away from it or walk away from it, when you see this thing is not working, what are some of the lingering effects and how that can affect you?
Bitterness. A lot of people come off, or out of divorce and they have no idea that they are bitter. Let me tell you how to know that you're bitter. Anytime you see people smiling, happy, or anything, the first thing you say or notice is a negative thing. You're a bitter person. When you come out of marriage, usually people will see and say, hey, you go still cheat. Adam. See them now, give them 1 more year, come back and you're a bitter person. So you don't know it, you're not doing it intentionally and the reason is because of your pain. You stop seeing the good in everything. You always start to see the bad first in any good thing, anything whatsoever. So bitterness, and that will seep through, through to everything you do, your friends, your relationships, your children, everything. You won't be a happy person. So that's 1. Number 2 is lack of trust issues. People start having trust issues. They don't believe anything anymore. Nothing you would say because somebody has broken their trust. You understand? Somebody has said this, somebody has said that. And another one is a repetition of that cycle within your family, with your children, for instance. People think these things are spiritual. Our family, there are plenty divorces. Is the ogun from the father's side, from the mother's side. I'm not saying that you should not pray, but a lot of these things are more psychological than spiritual, because you become what you behold, you become what you see. So subconsciously, you are wiring your children to also have broken marriages against their will. Against their will. That is why, the people need to leave a marriage because of abuse and all of that. You understand? But even then, you need to go through healing. You need to go through healing. You need to take your children through healing. You need to, detoxify all the things that they have seen and heard and come to conclusions of. Some men today, I know a man who cannot commit to a woman because of his parents' marriage. His mom cheated on his dad, had a baby outside, tried to pass it off to his dad. Until today, the man is 49 years old. He cannot commit. He has children with different women, but he cannot marry one person just because of that. So these are things that can filtrate, into your children or people that live with you without you knowing. It's a subconscious thing. They just believe marriage is terrible, marriage is a bad idea, which is why we have this generation of young people now. Because they saw their mom being maltreated. They saw their dad being, ignored or disrespected. So a lot of them grew up from that kind of home, and they're like, never, God forbid, I'm not going to go through this thing, which is why they have become this aloof, uncaring, you understand, emotionless people. So those are the effects of divorce. So it ripples back into the society on the long run. It's going to affect everybody, because the person can be your boss, your colleague, your downfall driver, you understand, anybody. So it's still going to come back to you, So I would not say that, because there are some people that have gone through divorce. I have gone through divorce, you understand. Until now, I'm still suffering some consequences, you understand, even though I've been through therapy, I'm healed and all of that. But there are some things that can never be taken away. I have 2 kids, you understand. So now I have to explain to my son, daddy is not living here, you understand, that's very traumatizing for a child. They'll start asking you questions. How come my own parents, my friends' parents, you understand, all those things. It has a way of forming, the mentality of children, and there are times where I remember when my son was critically ill, he had to go through a surgery. My ex-husband was there, but he wasn't like, because, when we're married, it was different. Even to me as a woman, I felt pain. I felt, so even going through therapy, there are still some consequences that will be there forever. You get what I mean? But that's why you need to choose your heart. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your heart. Which one do you think, you can cope with? Because there are consequences for both. So you have to weigh both consequences and say, okay, I think even though this might happen to me, I'll try and I'll manage it. So, I think that answers that.
Yes, it does. It really does. Thank you so much for opening the Pandora's box for some people and telling them they need to get help. I will quickly see if I can take 1 or 2 messages. I will take this one, even though your name is not here, but he says, how can I get the details of Lara Kudayisi? I don't know how I got to the program this morning. I am watching YouTube. My marriage is facing a serious issue now. It's like God sent her to me. Well, you can find her on Instagram. And for any other person who wants to find her, you can go to Instagram, Dear Coach Lara. You can find her contact details there, and you can reach out, because we need to save more marriages these days. So please go to Instagram and search for Dear Coach Lara, and you find a contact there, and you can reach out to her. And I hope and wish you the best in your marriages. Unfortunately, I cannot even take more. I saw the phone line, and sorry. So maybe some other time we'll have to do this some other time and talk about something in this regard. So thank you so much for sharing this much and of course educating us. I look forward to more conversations with you.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much for having me. I'm being patient, you know. After all the disappointments, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So you know what? We'll save this video for you on YouTube so you can go back to it and watch and share with someone who you know the relationship or the mentality they have about marriage is not very healthy. You can share this with them. Or even if their relationship or marriage is facing issues, they need to hear this. So go to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/smooth92 FM Lagos. And ladies, I have not forgotten your makeup product. You have to stay listening because I'll be back. This is Smooth 98.1.
Ooh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's like virtue has gone out.
That's actually how I feel. I need to go and drink water because virtue has left me.
Thank you. I really hope this person gets help. I
hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll talk to you some other time. Bye.
Bye.